Hello, my name is Christy Ruby and I'm a librarian at Eastern New Mexico University, and today I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks of how to search like an expert. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to go over how to search our library databases, limit your results to a manageable number, and demonstrate some search strategies that can be used. One thing to note is that databases and our Library One search prefers that you use keywords, basically single words or phrases that represent the thing that you're trying to find, instead of entire questions like you can use for Google. Some tricks I have used and would suggest are to keep track of the search terms that you're using when you're working on a research paper or a project, and look at the ones that keep track of the ones that work and the ones that you've used that don't work. And we'll get into an actual search in a moment, and I'll show you how everything works. But one other thing I want to note is our Library Databases tab right here. If you were to click it, you would actually get a list of all the databases that the library has access to, and that you'll see that there's a search for databases here. That's not exactly the same thing as searching our OneSearch. What that's actually searching is the title of the database or the description of the database. So if you were to do a search that you would do in our OneSearch, you're only going to search the titles and descriptions of these databases instead of things like in the OneSearch. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back and look at our OneSearch. And one more thing, just before I get started, you're probably not going to find everything that you need for a paper in the first search that you do. You might need to go back and refine it a couple times. That's totally normal, and that's pretty typical and useful. And I'm going to go ahead and do a search for critical race theory. And I'm just typing it, and one thing you'll notice is that these two things are checked, the full text and peer-reviewed or scholarly only. Those are normally highlighted. If you don't want those, you can uncheck them, but we went ahead and did the hard work for you and made it automatically selected. And here you'll see that I have 11,424 results. Sort of keep an eye on that number because I'm going to go over some ways that will make that number bigger and smaller. And let's say you wanted to make sure that critical race theory is being searched as an entire phrase. You can add in quotation marks around it and make it be searched as an entire phrase. And I'm going to go ahead and click search, and our search results should come down to 6,343. And another thing that we could look at is, let's say you wanted to look at critical race theory and education. We can keep this little "and" highlighted here, and we can add in education right here. And let's add that in, and the results are going to go way down again to 3,435. And if we wanted, we could change this to "or," which should make this number bigger because we are searching for critical race theory or education. It's looking for two things, one or another. And let's go ahead and change this back to "and" just for this search. And let's say that we're looking through and some things keep popping up that we just don't want to see. Let's say things keep popping up about religion that we're just not interested in. What we can do is we can change that drop-down menu to where it says "not." So we have critical race theory and education, but not religion. And that's going to bring our results to 3,389. I don't usually recommend that people use the "not" until they have looked through some searches or some results, because it does really narrow your result pool, sometimes unnecessarily. But it's something that's a cool feature that I wanted to go ahead and show. And the other thing that I want to go over is this Refine Results tab on the side. I do have an entire video where I talk about subject filtering and how you can do that. I'll go ahead and I'll put that in the comments as well. But there's also all of these options here. You can filter by publisher, publication. And then one thing that I want to go over here is I want to make sure that I'm looking at things in English. So I'm going to filter it by language and filter it by English. And then let's say that I'm looking at specifically, I'm thinking Texas and critical race theory in Texas. So I can click on filter by geography and I can actually choose Texas from that option right there. And then you're going to see I have a nice tidy 15 result pool. And as always, please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or any other things that you just don't understand or need help with. Thanks. Bye.